The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com. Hello, we are back again with another live episode of Wrestling with Johners, part of the Johners Podcasting Network. And today I'm joined by the wonderful Mercedez Blaze. Mercedez, we had a few technical difficulties. We're on, we're live. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Now that we're talking, now that we're live, now that we're chatting, I'm feeling even better. But if you want to send your questions in for Mercedez Blaze live on Wrestling with Johners, you can do. Send us your questions on your chosen device. They'll pop through to us and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions live on air. But Mercedez, thank you for joining us on this special episode of Wrestling with Johners. Special because you're on the podcast today. We've got to start, Mercedez, with your last match for Progress. I think it was chapter 129 this past Sunday. And from the Electric Ballroom, the second ever women's Thunder Bastard match. Now, you've been a part of both Thunder Bastard matches for Progress. The first one was with no fans. This one on Sunday was with fans. Yep, this one on Sunday was with fans from the Electric Ballroom. But give us your your recollections, your experience of that second match, that second Thunder Bastard match on Sunday from the ballroom.
Well, obviously for me, it was extra special because we did it in front of the amazing fans. It was amazing to have Kanji back. So, I mean, as you can imagine how emotional the atmosphere was backstage, you know. So, I mean, both Thunder Bastards, I mean, the first one was the first one ever. So just the fact that it was the first one ever was extra special. But, you know, truth be told, I didn't win any of them, so I'm looking forward to the third ever Thunder Bastard, and that one I can guarantee you will be mine.
Oh, 100%. And there was some amazing talent in that match. Right. Just going to bring up a picture here. You session him off there. The return of Kanji. We had Kanji on the podcast a couple of months ago. In fact, last month. You got Charlie Evans there, Sky Smithson, Taonga, yourself, and of course Lana Austin. So a great lineup. But your second ever Thunder Bastard match, you didn't win. You said you didn't win the third one. I'm sure you'll have a strong outing. But you've been with Progress now for you've been with Progress now for the last couple of years. And I want to focus in particular on 2021 because you were brought in as part of the new era of Progress, weren't you? And the new era of women's wrestling in Progress as well. Give us your sum up 2021 for us as far as your journey with Progress last year and being part of that kind of new era. I know it was without fans last year, but it was quite a special roster of women that were part of Progress in 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I had wrestled for Progress before the pandemic. I think I did a few, maybe 3 live shows with them. So I did get a little taster of what working with Progress is like. I mean, you know, like Progress is a promotion that once upon a time I used to buy tickets for and sit in the crowd, you know. And I went from doing that to being a crew member for Progress. So just to be able to stand there today and say I have main evented Progress 3 times, that to me is absolutely insane. That to me is my way. You know, Progress is one of the biggest, if not the biggest promotion in the country. And not only that, but we stream on the WWE network. So I'm getting a lot of exposure. Like even when we was doing the no fans taping, it's like, yes, we're wrestling in front of nobody, but can you imagine the amount of, you know, eyes that's going to be on us? You know, but yeah, to go from, you know, not being able to wrestle for so long and going through a pandemic and getting a phone call like, yo, we're bringing Progress back, we're reinventing the whole thing, and we want you to be part of the deal. Like, I cried, you know, straight away. I cried. I was speaking to my mom. I was on the phone to my mom, and I was just like, Mom, I'm so happy because I have to be honest, you know, at that time, going through that pandemic, I don't know when I'll wrestle again. Will I ever wrestle again, you know? At the time, I think it was maybe coming up to 2 years that I didn't step in the ring. So to go from that, and it's crazy because I I just had this vision that once I start wrestling again, I'll be able to do smaller shows and gradually get back to, being more comfortable with myself. And then I'll be doing big shows. But no, I didn't get that. I was just like, yeah, you've not wrestled for 2 years, but we want you in with Millie McKenzie.
Crazy.
That
Absolutely
was
crazy.
crazy. But, for them to do that shows they believe in me, they believe in the girls, they believe in the team. Yeah, honestly, like for me, it was just absolutely crazy just to even still be part of Progress. I've just seen the match that's been announced for the next Progress show. Oh my days, like, have you seen it? If not, then oh my days, it's absolutely crazy.
That's awesome. And just going back to when I spoke to Kanji, because she was in a very similar situation to yourself, being drafted in to the new era of Progress at the Peckham Theatre. But she said that the kind of the support that the whole women's roster gave one another backstage before the first set of live tapings and before the first Thunder Bastard match last year, it kind of you felt a certain sense of responsibility, didn't you? Not just for the women's division in Progress, but for the women's division of UK wrestling as well. There was a sense of responsibility and pride there as well amongst all of you women backstage when Progress came back last year.
Of course, because I feel like it was at a time where wrestling in general was at a point where, people questioned a lot of things and people questioned a lot of promotions. And I feel like in the locker room, we just kind of looked at each other and thought, you know what? We are responsible to rebuild this. We have to do this. We are going to make people talk about Progress again. We're going to make people talk about the Progress Women's Division in a good way. And, standing here right now, we did absolutely that. We did that. And I'm so proud of me, all the women that was involved. Like, the locker room we had a locker room, like, it was sisterhood in there. And honestly, that is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important to, if you're going through something, to just be able to look and be like, yo, girl, can I speak to you about this? Whether it's wrestling related, whether it's not wrestling related, it helps. Honestly, it makes wrestling so much more lovable.
Yeah, 100%. And just looking at some of the amazing competitors that you faced during the no fans era of Progress last year, and I'm going to reel off some names, but Alexis Falcon, Kanji, Millie McKenzie, who mentioned earlier on, Giselle Shaw, Taonga, Roxy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got into the final two of the Thunder Bastard last year. You got into the final of the Revelations tournament. Do you have any favourite matches or moments or memories of some of those opponents that you faced in 2021 for Progress?
Maybe the triple threat match that I had with I think I've got two favorite memories actually. So one would be the triple threat match I had with Giselle and Lexi Falcon for the championship, and that's when
Great match.
Kanji vacated the championship. Obviously, special to me is the championship match is the main event of Progress, so that's a big deal to me. And of course, being final two for the Thunder Bastard, that too was main event. So
yeah,
that to me is it's crazy that I can even say that, So
yeah,
that will always be special to me. But honestly, every single memory I've had in Progress has helped and contributed to the person and the wrestler that I am today. So I'm thankful for all the matches I've done. Like, I had the opportunity before the pandemic to step in there and wrestle Ginny, for the championship, and that
for
was
the title.
like when I got the call, like, oh, by the way, we're bringing you back, you're wrestling Ginny. That's insane because at the time I think I had only been Yes, and at the time, I think I had only wrestled for Progress one time. So I
Yeah.
must have done something to really impress for them to be like, yo, not only we're bringing you back, but we're putting you in there with Ginny.
Oh, that's absolutely crazy.
It
And a
was a
great match as
big
well.
deal,
And
man. That for me is
oh,
wow.
100%.
Wow.
100%. And I want to talk about Taonga as well, because over the last 12 months, you've had this partnership with Taonga on Progress, by your side, as your sidekick, as your occasional tag partner. As we saw in the final of the Revelations tournament in Chapter 127 back in January, she can sometimes be a bit more of a hindrance as opposed to being a help, but a great partnership, tons of chemistry between you and Taonga, especially with your contrasting personalities. Tell us about that kind of that partnership with Taonga, and how it works between the two of you.
So, you know what? I'll let you in on a little secret actually. So
Go on.
they was gonna put me with some else. I was like, do you know what? We like what you're doing, but we want to put you like with another strong sort of personality, just so we can just dominate progress, basically. Like we have natural chemistry. Like I feel like I just watch her sometimes. I'm just like, yes, like most of the things we do, we don't even plan. We don't talk about it. Like a lot of the backstage promos we do, we don't rehearse it, and it's literally one take. And watching it back is almost like we've rehearsed it over, but no, we haven't. It's just natural chemistry. We love what we do. You can clearly tell by watching us. And I feel like it's definitely getting us over, and we're just getting started. Honestly, like we are just getting started. I love
Oh,
wrestling with Tonga,
100%.
and I've seen her grow so much. Like from when I first seen her wrestle to now, like oh my day, she's getting better and she's growing every day. Maybe I'm rubbing off on her a little bit, but yeah. With that being said, I am keeping my eyes on her because she has been acting a bit funny recently. Maybe I'm getting a bit too popular for her liking, so I feel like she has been. I have to keep my eyes on her. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
Well, from my own personal standpoint, I'd love the partnership to carry on a little bit longer just to see where it goes, because I think the two of you are just absolute golden, to be honest with you. But before we continue, Mercedes, we've got to throw a quick plug to our
I
sponsors,
agree.
1310 Apparel, who are the fantastic sponsors of not only this podcast, Wrestling with Johners, but the Johners Podcasting Network. And if you go over to their store at Wrestle Merch Central, you can see their exclusive hardcore range of apparel there, their Lucha range of apparel, and their more traditional 1310 and Four Corners apparel. They do sponsor, besides the Wrestling with Johners podcast, some well-known international wrestling talent such as Heidi Katrina, Northwest Strong's Chris Ridgway. And if you go over to their WrestleMerch Central store or their Big Cartel store, you can see the exclusive Heidi Katrina shirt there. Now, as a listener or a viewer of the Wrestling with Johners podcast, you can take advantage of our deal with 1310 Apparel by going to their WrestleMerch Central store at 1310.merch.global. That's their WrestleMerch Central store. Just search 1310 and at checkout, use the discount code 1310 WMC. That's 1310 WMC to get yourself 10% off at checkout at their global store, Wrestle Merch Central. Take advantage of that offer now. I want to take you to a couple of weeks down the line, in about 4 weeks. Progress are on March the 22nd. There'll be a special show, unlike they've done before, Who Runs the World, from the Dome in London, an all-women show featuring the awesome women's roster of Progress. You'll be there, I'm sure. It's your hometown in London. This has to be a show that you're looking forward to, Who Runs the World. Give us your thoughts kind of going into that, and we're hoping that you're going to be a part of it.
Of course, I can confirm 100% part of it. If they didn't book me, I would still be a part of it because I'll just go there and crush the show. So let's just throw that out there. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure who I'm wrestling yet, but this is amazing. Honestly, like this is amazing. We have an all women's show. What? What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. We're going to smash it. We're going to go out there and we're just going to show exactly why women's wrestling is on the rise every single day. And anyone has anything to say, keep watching. Honestly, keep watching.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible show. I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't be there, but hopefully it will air on the WWE Network. I'm going to talk about Wrestle Carnival because I've seen you a few times at Wrestle Carnival since they started last August. You had a match against Rio in October. And then you was part of the Queen of the Carnival gauntlet match just a few weeks ago in January from the Portland Center. Give us your sum up your experience with Wrestle Carnival so far, because they're another promotion that's really, really focused on women's wrestling and have probably focused on women's wrestling just as much as they have the men's matches for Wrestle Carnival so far. So sum up your experience with Wrestle Carnival in the few matches that you've been there.
Yeah. Well, the first time I was there, I was well, in fact, the first time ever I got booked for Wrestle Carnival, I couldn't make it because I had come into contact with someone that had COVID. So just to be safe, I was
Yeah.
unable to make it. So I was so gutted about that. But thankfully, I returned. against Rio, and like Rio is an amazing wrestler. I wrestled her in the past before, so we have natural chemistry, you know, like so to go up against her was amazing, and to return and we did you know that for the championship. Like it was my first time being in a match like that, so that was really cool. You know, it's kind of like on the top rope rules, but like a championship match, and the final two get to have a proper match. So yeah, that was really cool, and I was in there with top female wrestlers, you know. So yeah, I mean, we went out there, we had a great match. I was so
Yeah.
happy to be part of that match, and I'm happy for the best woman won. So what can I say? Watching Alex and her celebrating the son, like I'm so emotional. I'm so happy she won.
Yeah,
Honestly, if
absolutely.
anyone's gonna take it from me, I guess it can be her. I guess.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I want to ask you now about your wrestling fandom. And when it started, have you been a lifelong wrestling fan? Tell us how wrestling first came into your life, then, Mercedes.
I have. So initially, my parents were wrestling fans, so it's like I kind of grew up watching wrestling all the time because that's what they was watching. But I never grew out of it, you know. I feel like a lot of my friends watched wrestling when they was younger, but as they grew older, just grew out of it. Like, that growing out of it stage just never came. So
Really?
eventually, once
Wow.
I got older, I thought, you know what? Let me see what this is about. Let me start training. But at the time, yeah, literally. But at the time, like wrestling wasn't as popular as it is in this country. You know, like we didn't have promotions, we didn't have wrestling schools. So, you know, I remember looking at wrestling schools, and at the time, I found the developmental for WWE at the time. So, and well, before there was NXT, there was FCW,
Yeah.
and it was the school in Florida. So I looked it up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Florida, and I'm going to train with FCW. As crazy as it sounds, you know, like here I am, 18 years old. I've never been to, you know, the States, but I did it. I did it. You know, I flew myself to Florida, started training there. And I think I did that about a few times. I think maybe I did that 4 times. So I found myself there, trained for 3 months, and then come back. So I did that for about 4 times, and eventually I met Triple H, and he gave me a tryout. So I think at the time I was about 21 or something like that. And he gave me a tryout. But yeah, at the time I was just so like, this is before I ever went to the gym. I weighed like 50 kg. Like I was really small, you know, like there was no way. They looked at me and what you doing? So yeah, I mean the tryout was good. I actually had a good tryout, but at the time I was just very small. So they advised me to just, you know, start using the gym, put on some weight and come back. So yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, once I came back to the UK, I feel like life kind of got away, a few personal issues, things like that. And then, you know, I took kind of a break. And then, you know, once wrestling got popular in this country again, I was just like, oh, wait, you know, let me see, maybe I can start training again, maybe I can. So, yeah, I did that and eventually started doing shows and things like that. I mean, I took a very long break, as you can, you know, imagine, but it's so good, you know. Sometimes, you know, I'm a big believer on timing. And it wasn't my time before, you know. Now, right now, with what I'm doing, the shows I'm doing, I feel like I am at the perfect place where I need to be. I'm doing the shows that I want to be doing. So yeah, I'm good, you know. Like so, I don't think it was my time before, but right now is my time.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. And take me back to FCW then, because as you said, it was the kind of the forerunner to NXT, which we are familiar with nowadays. And you were 18 years old. I believe you went over to the States and for the first time as an 18-year-old. What was that experience like? It must have been quite daunting for you to be around all these big, larger than life Americans in FCW. Tell us about that experience at such a young age.
You know what? It was insane. Like first off, it was very emotional to my family, as you can imagine. Like imagine your daughter coming to tell you, like, oh, by the way, I'm to America, a country that I've never been before. You know, I'm going for 3 months for the best. So as you can imagine, it was a very emotional moment for my. Oh goodness, I've actually, yeah, it was a very emotional moment for my family. But you know, they know how much wrestling means to me, so everyone supported me, and that's one thing I'm so thankful for is until today how much support my family give me when it comes to wrestling. But yeah, so going back there, like you have to imagine that not only is the whole wrestling thing, you know, so new to me when I was there, but it's also just that I'm in a different country. Like I am in America. I am in not just America, but I'm in Florida, one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful places in the world. So what I mean, so and bearing in mind, I live in London, so coming from London, now I'm just like everyone that lives in London hates me right now, but yeah, but coming from a place like London, and here I am in Florida, this beautiful place, and what I was renting, by the way, was amazing. I was renting this beautiful place that had a swimming pool right outside my house, so I was living a good life, man. So I was so good. I was so good. And going back to the training facility, like I will walk in there and we'll have people like AJ Lee, Alicia Fox. I got to train with people like Roman Reigns. At the time, he was Layaki, so this was a
Wow.
very long time. Seth
Yeah.
Rollins. Trying to think of some of the ladies that was there at the time. Yeah, but there was a lot of the people, you know, Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt, Titus O'Neil, so a lot of the super you see now back in the days, you know, when they was just making a name for themselves, was just their training, you know. I'll have a roll around with people like AJD, you know. So and not only I got to meet the Undertaker, but he watched one of my matches and gave me critique at the end. Like, this is what I mean, like, regardless of being signed or not from that experience, like the things I went through, the experiences, oh my days, I'm so thankful for everything.
And am I right in thinking that you made your wrestling debut over here in the UK about 2018?
Yes, yes. So I think I made my debut for, I believe it was Battle Pro Wrestling. I believe so. Yeah, 2018 Battle Pro
Yeah.
Wrestling. Oh my days, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And tell us
That sounds
about
like so
them.
long ago right now. Bloody hell.
It does. I'm sure it does seem like a long time ago, but tell us about kind of them first few months, maybe first 6 months, kind of settling in, finding your feet, developing as a performer, developing as a wrestler and as a character. How were you as like a trainee?
Do you know what? I think like I remember going back to when I was in Florida, and I remember it's one of the first things I had to do was a back bump. And it was so crazy because as soon as I did the back bump, Smiley, he was one of my trainers. And as soon as I did the back bump, Norman said, "You're a natural." He literally said, "I can tell just from that back bump he did, by the rhythm, by the motion, by how I executed it, he was like, you're a natural." So I mean, and I remember him saying that from the first day he trains with somebody, he can kind of tell if they're natural. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes people don't get it, and eventually they'll, you know, they get it. But he was like, he can kind of tell straight away that who will kind
Yeah,
of make it in the business and who won't, you know. But yeah, going, it's so crazy because when I first started wrestling, everyone was booking me as face. I was always being booked as face, which I didn't mind, by the way. I was just happy to be out there. I was happy to be, happy to smile and, shake people's hand and, yeah, let's go. I don't know. I was happy to do that. But I feel like the more I was wrestling and the more I found myself, I was like, nah, I'm more myself when I'm heel. And I feel like people kind of saw that in me. Like when I'm a heel,
yeah,
I'm a natural. I'm probably one of the best female heels there is out there, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And probably one of the only women right now that gets booked in every promotion as a heel because I'm such a strong heel. Not saying that I didn't do the face thing well, but don't get me wrong, I love being a face, and from what I've been told, I did a great job as a face. But for me, I'm a heel. I'm a bitch. Do me.
I was going to say, I mean,
Do me.
you're a natural heel
So
all
yeah,
day
it is.
long.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But I mean, from 2018 into 2019, and 2019 was a brilliant year for you, wasn't it? I mean, you made your debuts for the likes of Eve. You won championships for World War Wrestling, Apex Pro Wrestling, DOA. We mentioned Progress earlier, and you made your debut for Progress at the back end of 2019. But just looking at the kind of indie performances in 2019 for yourself, that is a pretty crazy year, wasn't it? And a lot of success, and for some great UK companies. So 2019 was a bit of a highlight for you, wasn't it?
All right, it's a complete highlight for me, and I have to be so thankful for people like Pro Wrestling Eve and Dan Reed. They put me in there at such an early stage of my career. They had the faith and the trust to put me in there with people like Mercedes Martinez,
Yeah,
um, people as I got to wrestle, you know. He put me in the ring with people like Kelly Ray and Viper. Honestly, like I have to be thankful because I grew so much, and I feel like I got to learn a lot about myself as a wrestler by being around people like that, you know. Just by wrestling people like that takes you to a whole new level. So
Yeah.
I don't think I would be the Mercedes Blaze I am today had it not been for the ladies I was in the ring with. And I'm still growing. I haven't even reached my peak yet. I'm just getting started, you know. So, but yeah, to even be able to say that I wrestle these ladies is crazy to me. At such an early stage of my career, like, how many people can say, yeah, I've been wrestling for 1 year and I wrestled just.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to bring up a picture now, and we've all heard of Becky 2 belts, but Mercedes 3 belts. I mean, look at that. That's some bling, isn't it? Eh? That's some pretty decent bling. I can see the World War Wrestling Championship there. What are the other 2 belts,
That
Mercedes?
makes me so happy.
Tell us about them championships.
So the other one was the Apex.
Yeah.
The other one was Apex, and the other promotion was another promotion. Oh gosh, I can't even bloody remember. But all that matters is I was the champion there.
Was it Wrestle
That's all
Force?
that matters to me. But wow, that picture gets me emotional.
Oh, that's a great picture. That really is.
Honestly, that picture makes me emotional. Wow,
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy to see how long I've come and the things that I've accomplished.
oh, 100%, 100%. Now, I want to bring up some more pictures and your WWE tryout. We got to talk about that. It was June 2019, I believe, and a fantastic crop of UK talent all lined up there. Tell us about that experience then, Mercedes, because you had a fantastic time there. 3 days, I understand you were there, training with the best trainers from the UK and around the world. William Regal was there, but an amazing experience. Tell us about your WWE tryout from June 2019.
My days, like I remember when I got the email, I was so confused because at the time I had only done a few shows, you know. I had not been wrestling for so long, so I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting anything like this. I remember telling myself all the time, I'm going to work so hard, I'm going to continue to make a name for myself so I can eventually, you know, get the right eyes on me and maybe get called in for a tryout or whatever. So to receive that email so early into my career was crazy. Like, what? You want me to be part of a first ever women's tryout? You know, this is big, this is huge. You want me to be part of the first ever all females WWE tryout in the UK? Wow. And there was certain faces that been wrestling for so long that I didn't see there, you know. So for me to be, I was thinking, why would they bring in that person or that person? What am I here? Like, what do you see in me that I am here standing in front of William Regal? Like, what did I do in my career to be standing in front of William Regal?
yeah,
You know, but obviously I did something right, and you know, I didn't get signed, but I had the opportunity to wrestle in a WWE ring for that festival. So yeah, I mean I must have done something to impress, and not only that, but they brought me back recently for another tryout. So I clearly must have done something right in my first tryout for them to be like, yeah, let's bring her back for another tryout. You know?
oh,
So we'll
100%,
see. You know, right now
100%.
I'm at the stage where, you know what I mean? I'm at this stage where I'm so happy with what I'm doing with my career. I'm growing, I'm learning every day. I'm wrestling for promotions that I'm very happy to wrestle with. So I'm just pacing myself. Like I'm not in a rush to get signed. Right now I'm just happy building Mercedes Blaze. I want the name Mercedes Blaze to mean something, you know?
And you're well on your way to making that happen for sure. And you mentioned your match at the Download Festival. It was a 2-on-1 handicap, wasn't it? Danny Luna and yourself versus the alpha female Jazzy Gabba, who's been on this show a couple of times. But a great opportunity for you. Were there any nerves before that match? Tell us about that experience.
I was very nervous for that match. First of all, let me just throw it out there. Had it not been for Danny Luna, I would have won that match. I would have won that match. So Danny Luna messed that one up for me, but that's a different story. That's a different story. But oh my days, bloody hell, yeah. You can imagine the nerves, man. Like not only I'm wrestling in the WWE ring for the first time at Dallas Festival, but I'm going up against Chazzy. Chazzy, like what? Like, and she is as scary as she is, you know, when you see her in the ring. She's just as
Yeah.
scary in real life, by the way. Like, literally, she is just as scary in real life. But no, we went out there, we did it, and it's so crazy because as soon as I came out the curtain, Shawn Michaels was sitting there. And I remember just thinking, I can't believe that. Usually when you do shows like you ask, even the promoter or some of your peers, other wrestlers for feedback. How did I do? But here I am, I just finished my match and I'm about to approach Shawn Michaels and ask for feedback. This is weird.
Yeah.
Hey Sean, how was it? Everything good? And I remember him just giving me the big thumbs up. Like, yeah, good. Like, how crazy is that? How, like, honestly, that was ridiculous, man. That was so ridiculous. I'll never forget these moments. Like, these are things where I just phone my mom straight away and I'm like, Mom, can you believe what just happened? Oh my days. Like, recently I had an opportunity to be on the podcast with people like Mickey James and Victoria and SoCal Val. And like, I remember when I sent the link to my mom, like, she was just crying watching it. Like, this is like, wow, look at my daughter with Mickey James. Some of the things I've gone through, honestly, like, it's so ridiculous. And to even say, not only I've done one tryout, I've done 2 tryouts in the UK PC.
Yeah.
How many people can say that? And bear in mind, when I did the second tryout, that was just a few months ago, I was one of the very few women that got called back from the first tryout. I think it was me and maybe one other girl that got called back. So to me, that was a big deal. Like, regardless of what happens from that, just the fact that I got called back just to be there, that's good to me. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm doing something right. And like, they need to keep their eyes on me. Honestly, they need to keep their eyes on me.
Absolutely. I mean, you're becoming the total package. I mean, you've got the wrestling skill, you've got the experience behind you now. You've won championships, but you're an amazing character, an amazing personality. Like you say, the best heel in the UK, the baddest bitch. But you're kind of really kind of getting a lot of attention because of all the pieces are coming together now, Mercedes.
I think so. I think so. I feel like I'm slowly starting to find myself as a wrestler. Like, I'm so much more out there. Like, even when I watch my matches, I can feel that. I mean, the nerves will always be there, you know. But I feel like when I'm watching my matches, I see a joy in me, you know, because I'm out there able to do. I can come out my shell a bit more, you know. The more I'm learning the Mercedes Blaze character, the more I'm able to push my boundaries a bit more, and the more I'm just learning to just go out and do me, fucking break rules, like do what the hell I
Yeah.
gotta do, you know. And like I said, honestly, every day I'm in the ring, I'm learning. I want to be tested. I want them to continue to test me. The next progress show is me and Taonga versus oh, goodness, Trish Adora and Holiday. I mean,
Yeah.
I asked them to test me, and they're doing just that. I wanted them to bring me the best, and therefore, you know what? You want the best? Here you go. We are giving you the best there is. Trish Adora, Holiday, let's do this. I am so ready. I am
Yeah.
so ready. Oh my
100%.
days. People are going to be talking about this match for sure. For
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah. And I know we touched on it earlier, but what are your plans? What are your goals for the future, for the rest of 2022 or going into 2023? Do you have any promotions you want to wrestle for, or where do you see Mercedes Blaze in 12 months' time?
So, I want some championships. I want some gold. I haven't been
It's
in
got to
Progress
happen.
Champion yet. You know, that's definitely in the future, 100%. I refuse to stop until I become Progress Women's Champion. So that is 100% the goal for me. I want to return to NXT UK. I feel like the division is growing every single day. You know, they're signing the best of the best, and I want to play too, you know. And I feel like I would be a perfect addition to that roster. I mean, come on and look at me. There's not a single one of them girls that look like me. I would stand out, if you know what I mean. Um,
100%.
and honestly, I just want to continue to make a name for myself. I just want to continue to grow. I want to continue to build, you know, my followers, build my social media. I want to continue to learn, continue to grow. You know, I've been working extra hard at the gym recently, and honestly, I feel like I've looked the best. you know, body wise, physique wise, like I look the best now than I ever have in my whole career. You know, and to be able to say that after the pandemic, crazy. I've been working so hard. I've got my back, you know. So right now I'm just on the path of being the best Mercedes player that I can. And honestly, when I watch myself, I feel like I'm slowly getting there. I'm slowly watching myself and thinking, all my days, she is the wrestler that I wanted to be when I was a little girl. Like, you know, let's not forget that I design my own gear, I make my own clothes. Everything you see out there, everything you see me wearing is all me. You know, so I want to continue to make outfits. I want to continue to make gear every single time, take it to the next level. Bearing in mind that my gear is not cheap. You know, I spend anything between £2,000 to £3,000 on my gear. So my stuff is not cheap, you know, but it's okay. Anything I will do to stand out, to be different from the rest of the girls, I would do that, you know. And I'm slowly being known for certain things. I mean, when you think Mercedes Blaze, you think, yeah, amazing girl, she's amazing heel, like, you know, she's a solid wrestler, and I like these things, and I want to continue to build a good reputation for myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, from everything I've seen, and I've seen you wrestle a few matches live for Progress and for Wrestle Carnival over the last 6 to 8 months. You're absolutely crushing it. And like I say, you developing this whole package, the wrestler and the character, and you are one of, if not the best heels in the country right now. So yeah, I just see a very, very bright future. Certainly, the next 12 months is going to be very, very exciting. But Mercedes, as we start to wrap up this interview, if you've got a message for your fans, for the Mercedes Blaze fans out there, what would you like to tell them?
Thank you. Oh my days, I feel like my fans have been there since the beginning. Like I have some diehard fans, man. Sometimes I sit with them like, why? Like I'm a heel, why be like? I feel like like you know, fans are not stupid. They understand that I'm just a paid character. I'm doing my job, you know. So I feel like they just appreciate the things I do. You know, like support for the fans I have, and it keeps me going. You know, this is not easy. There's been so many times where I question, oh, do I want to do this? This is, you know, but honestly, the fans, and I needed to wrestle in front of fans again. I feel like even when I was doing the no taping show, the taping shows, there was
Yeah,
something missing. That is like, yes, I'm back in the ring. I'm so happy to be back in the ring, but there's a certain something, a certain energy that was missing. And I remember the first show I did back in front of fans was it was the Eve Wrestle Queen show, and I was the first wrestler out there. You know, so I was, you know, the first match. And it's crazy because right before in out, you know, going through the curtains, I could hear the fans and they started chanting, Eve, 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 Eve. I broke out crying. I'm thinking to myself, fuck, my music is about to play in 5 seconds, and here I am bawling like a baby. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a
yeah,
strong
yeah,
heel.
100%.
I'm a heel. I can't go out there with tears in my eyes.
Oh, that's
But
brilliant.
honestly, it's just the fans mean so much to me, man. Honestly, the fans mean so much to me, and I have to be so thankful for them because
Yeah,
I don't know if I continue to wrestle if it wasn't there. They are the reason why I go there and put my body on the line every single time, and I will continue to do so. And I want to give a special thank you to women like Giselle Shaw, women like Kanji that have helped me grow so much in this journey. Women that are like sisters to me, women that have, you know, mentored me and taught me so many things. You know, I feel these girls didn't look at me and think, "Nah, your competition. I don't want to make you better." They look at me and I'm going to make you better, so you can step up to my level. I'm so thankful I had those women because there was a time where I questioned. You know, I feel like if you're in the locker room and you're the most experienced person, you're the best person in the locker room. That's all good. I want to
yeah,
be in the locker room and I am the least experienced person. That way I know I'm in the right place. You know, and it was nice to be in the locker room and see people like Giselle and catch people that I can learn and grow from because it was a time where so many women were getting signed. So many, they were snatching them up, and I'm just like,
yeah,
fuck, like, who am I supposed to get in the ring with and learn from now? Who's going to bring Mercedes Blaze to the next level? You know?
yeah.
I'm so thankful that as women like that, you know what, it's okay, I got you. And, you know, I'm still learning from them, and honestly, I'm just, yeah. So thank you to the fans, and thank you to my sisters, man.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And there's such a strong roster of women in the UK now. Probably, I think it's in the safest hands and the best place the women's roster's ever been in the UK currently. And like I say, you've mentioned
Oh
Giselle and
yes.
Kanji there, and there's so many more. But I mean, the women's division in the UK, I mean, I'm sure you'd agree, it's probably as good and as strong as it's ever been.
Honestly, like, I mean, I could go on. I don't want to start mentioning names because then I'll be here for, but right now, the talent out there, like, there's so many women that I cannot wait
Mm,
to wrestle. So many women that I'm just so excited to get in the ring with, and like I'm just so, and this is why I've been so motivated recently to go to the gym to be the best shape I can to work on my cardio. Like I'm
yeah.
so motivated by the women in the division right now. I'm so motivated to step up to their level. I want to start training more. I want to. Like, I just want to be the best Mercedes Blaze, man. Honestly, they haven't seen anything yet. You have not seen nothing yet. I'm just getting started.
It's going to be awesome the next year or so, watching you kind of get out there and do your thing. But before we let you go, Mercedes, an opportunity for you to throw out your
Um,
social media, so that anybody watching or listening who wants to get in touch and learn more about Mercedes Blaze and say hi, where can they reach out to you on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? The floor is yours.
So on Instagram, I am Mercedes Blaze. Mercedes is spelled with a Z, by the way, not an S. So Mercedes Blaze. On Facebook, I am official Mercedes Blaze. And on Twitter, I am Mercedes_Blaze.
There you
Follow
go.
me.
And they're running along the bottom of the screen
I
as we
won't follow you
speak.
back, but you can follow me.
There we go. But Mercedes Blaze, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege speaking to you. I want to thank you so much for being an awesome guest on this week's Wrestling with Johners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Like honestly, I'm still so nervous when it comes to interviews that I try not to do too many. Like every time someone messages me, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what to say. What if I'm not really good with speaking? I'm good at just talking, but I'm not really good talking. So, but I couldn't say no to you honestly. And thank you so much for having me.